Hello everyone. Welcome to the Indian Tact YouTube channel. So I moved the position of the camera a little bit. See if that takes care of the a little bit of rattle we are getting on the DC streets. So it's evening now. It's 76 degrees. If you guys have watched my previous video, it was 55 in the morning when we left. So we are getting cool down now. 76 degrees Fahrenheit. That's already quite cold for people in India. So like 32 degrees, our 32 degrees is 0 degrees centigrade. So when I say I'm 40 degrees, that means I'm just above 0 degrees, so you can imagine. But you get used to it. Most of us get used to it. I do see though that people from South India, they feel more comfortable in California or Texas or other warmer states. They don't like mid-Atlantic or northeastern states, but then you see all kinds of people everywhere. But when I talk to them, I do see them complaining about weather all the time. Whereas with me, I like cold weather, so the colder it is, the better it is. I've been asked by several people, why don't you move to Alaska? But I wish. It's a beautiful state. So we seem to be getting some drizzle here. I don't know if it's gonna turn into a full-blown rain. We will see. Doesn't look like it. The clouds, it's not heavy formation of clouds. It's just like a little gloomy, but I don't see any dark nimbus clouds. If you guys can see, in Washington DC, they have a license tag in front of me. In this Toyota Camry, it is Washington DC. It says taxation without representation. It's because they get taxed just like anyone else, but they don't have a representation like other states do. So it's kind of a taunt or kind of a protest, you can say. That's why every license plate in Washington DC has that little sentence down there saying taxation without representation. Also interesting to know, if you don't know about, most of the Washington DC license plates will look like this, unless it's a special version, like in Maryland you get a Maryland Star Spangled Banner War of 1812 license plate. But you can also get a Chesapeake Bay or several other varieties that you pay extra, $20 extra every month. All the states have some version of or another, a fancier version. So this is a very plain Washington DC license plate, if you can see it, but there are more fancier versions also available. And then of course there will be personalized license plates that you buy. I think the going rate is about $55-60 around that every year. So like I think if you remember, we saw one in the morning saying something like too picky. 2 Pick E. So you see a lot of that here, and it's a good idea to have a personalized license plate. I just don't think it's a good idea for me, because I don't want to be noticed when I'm driving. I don't want people to say that that car with that license plate calling 2 Pick E. Because now wherever I am, people will kind of make a note of it, and I don't want that. I just want a blend in license plate number, like the car in front of me. So the license plates here looks familiar. Looks similar. You can see that, and part of the reason is it's issued by the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. Unlike in India, where we have RTO, Regional Transport Office, which gives you a number, and then it's up to you. You can go and to any of the car accessories shop and have them make whatever kind of fancier they can make. Some put golden over black, some put white over black, some put silver over black. But that's not legal here. You cannot build your own license plates. You can pick the name on the license plate, but it will be printed and it will be made by one of the subcontractors of DMV, and then you will get it from them, but you cannot go and buy it from wherever you want. Also, most of these license plates are built in prisons. These are stamped sheet metal, and they are built by prisoners in prisons. And that's what they do. So we are going to turn next right on New York Avenue. And when I'm taking a turn, keep an eye on a building. It may have a sign saying expert house movers or home movers, something like that. Keep an eye on that building. When I'm moving, keep looking for that building. It's right when I will turn. I think that's where it is. Anyway, so the part of the thing is this expert house moving or home moving. Nice touch. Anyway, so let's see. So this company, Expert House Movers, what they do is, you will not believe it, they don't move your household stuff. They don't move your tables and chairs. They move your house. That means they lift your house from the foundation up. They put it on some robotic trailers, and then they move it. Why this happens a lot in Washington DC is because some of these buildings are historic or of historical importance. So when you are building a new building, building, you want to keep some part of the originality for whatever purposes. And I think in some cases it is required by the city that you don't touch, because what will happen is there is like a lot of beautiful buildings in Washington DC, and if everyone will tear them down, only to put a big glass and steel building, this one will not look as beautiful as it is. I don't know what this guy is doing. He can turn, but he is not willing to turn. I have no idea why. And this guy is gonna cause traffic jam left and right. Oh boy, you need all of these, you know. Look at this guy. He could have easily turned, but no, he won't. So it's on our right. I don't know if you guys can get the view. It's on our right, just before that black patch on that big building. Right next to it, it's that building. So it's required by city sometimes where you move your old building away, build a new building, and incorporate the older building in the new design. That's the idea. So I see those things a lot here. Like you see the building raised 4 feet above the ground, and then you know it goes on from there. So another interesting thing that I don't think it happens in India. I have never seen it. I don't think they have a capability of doing it yet, or a reason to do it yet. We do have old buildings in New Delhi, but they don't like seem to be. I think we let them go down the radar, and let whoever owned that building take care of it the way they want to take it. We have no regulation there, but here it is. So if you guys can see it, it's right on my left hand side, right next to this big building, right before it, experthousemovers.com. So you might want to go and check their website, because you will see what I'm talking about. They lift this building as of now is lifted from the ground. Amazing. As it is, they lift the entire building. So that's cool. Don't you think? So one thing you will notice is if I roll down the windows, and it's up. One thing that you will notice is that you don't hear too many horns and honking going on. But believe me, Washington DC is one city where people are very impatient and they use their horn all the time. However, you still won't hear it as much compared to India. And in some cities you don't hear it at all. It's not. So you only honk when somebody is doing a mistake, or you're correcting someone. Like, you are at a traffic light, and like this guy is in front of me and he's at a traffic light, but he's like sleeping, or he's checking his cell phone, which probably I think he's doing, given how poorly he executed that turn. You can honk so that they can start moving when it turns green. Otherwise they will keep sitting there for whatever time. Or if you're driving and if somebody like this car on my right, this car tries to come and cut me off here and take my space in between this car, the car in front of me and me, I will honk her to tell her not to do it. So you honk to correct or to warn other people's, or to show that you're, you don't want them to do this or whatever they're trying to do. That's allowed. You can do it. What's not allowed is to honk when you're driving just because you want to warn others that you're coming. No, you don't need to do that. As long as you are driving it okay, you don't need to keep pressing the horn to make people aware of your presence. People do that in India, but you don't need to do it here. what people do here is they honk to show other people that they're pissed off or they're upset because of their driving skill. I'm guilty as any other people here, because I wanted to honk on this guy because he could have easily turned, but he was waiting to be turned on the middle lane. What he could have done, or what I would have done, is I would have turned on my right lane so that the car stuck behind me can move away from the traffic, area. And when the lights turn green for the other people, they can go instead of now waiting behind me. So you don't care for yourself, you care for other people on the road. That's the way you should be supposed to do it. But apparently this guy doesn't bother to think of that. And once the traffic starts moving here, then he could have very well merged into the middle lane from right. So since it's raining, I'm going to turn on my lights, and here it goes. And the reason is, it's a law in Washington DC and in Maryland, and actually most of the states, that if it is raining and if you have to use your wipers, you have to turn on your lights no matter what time it is. It can be 10 in the morning, it can be any time. If you have to use your wipers, you have to turn on your headlights. The same laws are definitely for I think in all the states. I can say I've been to many states. I've driven through most of the states in the United States, and this one particular law seems to be logical anyway. It's a common sense, but they have laws because people might not do it. That is to turn your headlights when you are entering a tunnel, and in some states they have the same laws. Turn your headlights when you are on the bridge, no matter what time it is. It can be a bright sunny day, but it's the law. And I just do it because why not? I mean, if there is a reason they made that law, right? So just follow it. I leave it for the smarter people to make a law, and I just follow it. And it's kind of dark too, so why not? We are going through this construction zone again. I can take another route, but I might take another route just for you guys to see how it is. That one seems to be a hit and miss. This one is expected. In this route, the traffic is slow, but it's moving. The other route, the traffic is either fast or stopped. They have some couple of bottleneck areas where they have some accident or something, and then the traffic just stops. Really, doesn't move at all for half an hour, an hour. But if it is working, it works great. So I have had my share of moving really fast and reaching home early, or getting stuck on the traffic. Like I said, this route is not my favorite because it's because of all this construction and all that stuff going on, but I kind of like it for a reason that it is at least predictable. So one of the things is I will be replacing this car soon. I don't know when. I want to replace it tomorrow, but sometimes I just think that, you know, sometimes I think I should just, you know, wait for next year. So I'm like, I'm not sure when I will do it. I have not decided what kind of a car I'm gonna go for. Actually, the car in front of me is not bad either. But BMW is having their share of mixed, you know, feedbacks. Some people are liking some stuff and some people are not. Seems like so this is a new generation 535. I'm not buying a 35 because I'm done with turbos, at least for gas powered cars, because my car has twin turbos and it's fun to drive, but when it needs replacement, it's like it costed me several $1,000s to replace it. And it's one more complexity, it's one more thing to worry about. So 535, 335 and BMWs, they are the turbo models. They are faster than 528 or, you know, 20 or whatever numbers they have. But more expensive too, more powerful too, but at the same time the maintenance cost is crazy on turbos. However, if you get a diesel, you have to have a turbo. So in diesel you have to have a turbo, but diesel, at least, you know, it's worth taking care of the turbo problem with the diesel car, because A, diesel is more economical, B, I love diesel engines. My next car hopefully will be a diesel, because you know, when you drive diesel, just has so much, you know, endless surge of energy. You know, you keep going uphill, you know, you have a lot of stuff in your car, you have several people sitting in the car. I mean, whatever you do with that, you throw in anything at the diesel engine and it will just take it and do it. It might not be the fastest car, no way it is going to be the fastest car, but you know, it will do the job just fine. It will just, it's like a rail engine, you know. New tire financing, you can tell what kind, you know, you can tell what kind of things people do to stay in business. This guy is financing the new tires. I've heard there was a guy who had a shop who will rent the tires. But I guess there is a market, right? That's another one of the things, is I might be getting a new tires for my car. It's gonna be about $1,000 to get tires for this car, so I either buy tires or I buy don't buy tires and sell this car as it is, and buy another car. Then that way at least I will save $1,000, right? Because if I buy a tire, then I want to drive this car for at least year and a half. So my car is fully paid off. I don't have any expenses on this car, so I don't particularly have a reason of selling this car. But I'm just bored of this car. It's a beautiful, lovely car. I love this car, but sometimes I just want to drive something new with more technology. And believe me, that is one of the reasons that's making my decision of buying a new car so difficult, is because this car is fully loaded with all the technology, which was available until a few years back. I mean, these Germans have done things to this car which a lot of people don't even consider doing it to I mean, this car really is designed by people who are passionate of making cars. I cannot, maybe I may end up making 10 videos just explaining the features of this car, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get in details because it will bore you guys. I don't know if this happens in India, but do you see this tanker going there with on my left it's going, and the holder is moving, constantly moving. I don't know if this thing, I've seen this in India, but this is a new. This is not a new thing here. It's been here all the time, but I don't know. Maybe you guys can see this video and confirm whether you guys have seen the similar thing. So here this is concrete going in that car, in that truck. So the holder for concrete, that tank kind of a thing, it has concrete in it, wet concrete, and it has to keep moving to keep it wet, and to keep it away from becoming solid. You see, it's moving. It's moving, right? It's rotating clockwise. So when you are building a concrete structure in your house, like for example, you're making a patio in the back, or a front porch, and you want to put the concrete, you call one of these trucks and they will come and they will connect the pipe and they will pour it right there for you. So you don't have to mix the concrete in front of your house with cement and all that stuff. So this is the only way to do it. You cannot do the other way, like the Indian style, where like two people will make a a mountain of cement and sand and that small stones, whatever you call them, rocks, and then put everything together and keep pouring a little bit of water. Then one guy puts it in a container, puts it over their head and carry it, and then they dump like 200 times to do it. This whole truck will cover several hundred square feet of concrete need. You just call them. So there are ways of doing things here which are totally different than India, and I think Indian way is not particularly bad, but it's it's the most economical way of doing it in India, right? Because they have so many people to do it. Here this one guy is gonna go around and do like the job of like I'm not kidding, this guy probably will go to, like, let's say if he's just doing the residential rounds, he will probably go to like 10 houses and pour a little bit of concrete here, pour a little bit of concrete there. And this guy is gonna go by himself. He's driving the truck, he's the conductor of the truck, he is the driver, he's the cleaner, he's the guy who will help him reverse it. He's the guy who's going to do everything. He's going to attach the hose, he's going to attach the pipes, he's going to pour this concrete, get the paper sign, and come back and go to another site. In India, imagine, can you have one guy doing all of that stuff? Anyway, iPhone 6 is here. A lot of hoo-ha about iPhone 6. Not so much about iPhone 6 Plus. In our office, we already have several people, those who have bought iPhone 6. I don't know if I'm gonna buy 6 or 5S. To be honest, I don't even have an iPhone. I just don't want to get a smartphone. But now I think I will have to. I'm being forced to get one. I mean, I'm a very, I love spending money on technology, but at the same time, I don't want technology to be a part of, I want technology to be a part of my life, not my life to be a part of technology, is what I'm trying to say. I see people, glued to their iPhones or Samsung, S3, S4, S5, S6, S7s. Like, they can spend like 24 hours looking at that small screen. I don't want to do that. I want one phone with an excellent battery backup, excellent phone reception. I don't even want a camera in it. But in this country, everything is getting on iPhone. You buy any piece of electronic or any piece of anything, it says it has a application to control it from your iPhone. So I have so many things at my house that I can control with iPhone, but I don't have iPhone, so I miss that luxury of using my iPhone as a remote control for all of those things. So I think now I'm just saying, okay, enough of common sense. Now be a part of the herd and go and buy iPhone like everyone else. I'm already like 4 or 5 years behind it, right? So I mean, I'm still happy with my phone. It's just that now seems like you can't get good basic phones. My phone is a military spec phone, which is shatterproof, dustproof, waterproof. I can throw it in a swimming pool and it will come out and it will still be working. I can use it in a water also if I can, if I can like get a reception. But I wanted it to be robust, and it is. And you know what? I charge my cell phone once every 3 days. I can go with one charge for 3 days. I guess that you can never achieve with the iPhone, right? Or any other smartphone. So now I will be, once I will get an iPhone, I will be like everyone else, carrying a charger with me all the time, or asking for people, can I borrow your charger? I forgot one in my home. Oh well. Annapolis Baltimore Parkway. So if you guys watched one of the videos about green card thing I did for immigration, you remember I drove through GW Parkway, right? And you also remember I did another video where I come to some I covered some points about driving while intoxicated or driving under the influence. It's basically you're drinking and driving or under drugs. So if you drive like here drunk, or Maryland, or anywhere, we are still in Washington DC, by the way. so if you drive here, there is a charge, whatever the charge is, whatever the statute, it's like they're gonna charge you with, or whatever the cause of everything is gonna be in Washington DC or Maryland, depending on where you're driving. GW Parkway, I think, I may be wrong. GW Parkway, I think, is partly in Washington DC and partly in Montgomery County. But anyway, in GW Parkway, oh no, actually, GW Parkway, okay. So in GW Parkway, if you get caught driving drunk, it's a federal offense because GW Parkway is a federal property. There you go. So I think similarly, somebody was telling me, and I haven't checked that fact or that statement, but somebody was telling me that similar to GW Parkway, this Baltimore Parkway is also a federal property. So the charges of drunk driving here is federal as well instead of state charges. So if you're gonna be stupid enough to drink and drive, don't be stupid enough to, do it in the parkways, at least, I guess. What difference is gonna make? It's gonna screw up your life anyway. Alright guys, I'm gonna get off here and I'll see you later. Peace.